3 years ago, when I was sitting right where you are now, listening to my orientation coordinator, Angela Dolson, talk about her transition to Gettysburg, I had no idea I'd be standing up here someday. I'd never have the courage to speak in front of that many people, I thought to myself. Well, joke's on me. In high school, I was what some might call an overly involved student. So it came as no surprise when I came to Gettysburg and jumped right in. Some of the first clubs that I joined today, I'm still a part of, and others not so much. I was also really overeager with my academics. I came to Gettysburg with the intention of being a chemistry major and the choir being my main extracurricular activity. As I got more involved, I decided to change my path and double major in chemistry and music. During my second semester, I decided that biochemistry and molecular biology was more my interest, so I changed my major again and kept music as a minor. While I was at it, I thought a health science minor would be fun to add into the mix. I stayed with this plan for about a week, then I dropped my music minor. A few weeks later, I dropped the health science minor too. During my sophomore year, I began to feel like the natural sciences weren't for me because I had to do something I had never done before: study. Not pretend to study while watching TV, but actually read thoroughly and study. So now I decided psychology was my calling. Did I mention I had never taken a psych class in my life? Obviously, I needed to find some focus and direction. While I took organic chemistry that year, I was a frequent visitor to my instructor's office, who also happened to be my advisor, Dr. Jameson. I went to him for help with my orgo homework, and what I needed was the help that I needed even more. I shared with him the struggles I was having, and that I was planning to change my major yet again. He then asked me a very important question: do you enjoy the subject? And my answer was yes. Although I had to work really hard, I was still fascinated by the subject. And what he told me was that I wouldn't be any happier in a major if I wasn't actually interested in it. After our long talk, I decided to stick with natural science, but change the focus to what I'm majoring in today, biology with a chemistry minor. I credit Dr. Jameson for that, and I'm very thankful that he helped me make that decision. The point is, although I may have changed my major numerous times, I'm still graduating on time and everything is okay. It's okay to change your major or even your career goals as many times as you want. You will be okay. You may not have any idea what you want to do right now, and that's okay too, because that's what college is for. Gettysburg has such a great support system that no matter what you choose to do, somebody will always have your back. So I had become well-versed in making changes I was planning for. I filled out the little change of major form and I knew what was going to happen after that. However, there have been things in my time at Gettysburg that I was not planning for. Through my involvement on the Campus Activities Board, I became connected to the Office of Student Activities and First-Year Programs. After working with some great people on a few projects, I decided that I was going to get more involved with that office. I developed a surefire plan to become more connected. I would apply to be the first-year experience coordinator, but because I didn't think I had enough experience, I didn't actually plan to get the job. I simply wanted to show I was interested and then be a staff assistant instead. After that, I was going to be the CAB president, and that's what I was going to do. Nothing would interrupt my plan until I was offered the FYE coordinator job. Not something I was expecting at all. I took the opportunity, and during my time in that role, I learned an immense amount about first-year programs and higher education. Then, about 1 year ago, exactly from today, one of my two supervisors, Morgan Stocker, whom I had been close with in the 2.5 years I had known her, told us she would be leaving the college to pursue another opportunity. I was absolutely devastated. How was I going to manage to do my job when one of my supervisors wasn't going to be here? Who was I going to talk to about my life plans with? Who would be my mom away from home? Nevertheless, we finished orientation, and Morgan wasn't in the office on the first day of school. I continued to work with FYE, and I finished the job. And as I finished, I realized another change had developed in my plan. I didn't want to be the CAB president anymore. I wanted to be the orientation coordinator. So I applied and was offered the position. I was so excited to continue to work with first-year programs with all of my knowledge and experience from the previous year. I was also really excited to continue to work with my other supervisor, Kira Kant, who I had known for about 2 years at the time. Then, about 2 weeks before this summer started, Kira told me she would be leaving the college to pursue another opportunity. Once again, I was devastated. How would I do my job without either supervisor that I had learned so much from, who had provided me with an incredible amount of support and guidance? I continued on, still shaken by the unexpected change. But one thing that Gettysburg has taught me is that unexpected changes present the biggest challenges. And in these challenges, we find the biggest learning opportunities. I was incredibly nervous to perform my job as the orientation coordinator. Without knowing who would be my mentor or how I would remember the smallest detail of something I had never even done, all while feeling pressured to ensure the best experience for the class of 2016 and continuing the great legacy of Gettysburg College first-year programs. Then, one day this June, Dean Ramsey announced that Morgan Stocker would return to Gettysburg College, acting as the new director of our office. I was so happy to have a familiar face in the office, somebody who I could rely on and who would support me through any challenges that I might face. And Morgan has done just that. I would not be standing up here today if she hadn't given me the encouragement to move forward through all of the challenges that we've had this summer. She's been a great mentor, supervisor, and role model, and I'm very grateful for all of her support. This summer has been a great learning experience for me. I've learned so much more than I've anticipated, not just about orientation or higher education, but about myself. I learned to believe in myself, to be confident in my decisions, something that I had never done before. I owe that to Gettysburg College. Amidst the numerous changes that you'll encounter in your time here, whether it's changing your major or your supervisor, Gettysburg will also change you, and you have the ability to change Gettysburg. Here, you'll develop yourself into so much more than you thought you would, and that's only the beginning. You'll leave this place, as I'm going to reluctantly do in 9 months, confident in your abilities to succeed and make a difference in this world. You may have noticed the quote on the back of the first-year staff shirt. It is every man's obligation to put back into the world at least the equivalent of what he takes out of it. In return for the change that you'll experience here, I challenge you to give back to Gettysburg. Speak up for what you believe in. Give guidance to those who seek it. And be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Initiate a change here, even a small one, because if there's anywhere and any time to make a change, it's right here and right now.